She basically is like a wife to me. She's very pretty and some of the sweetest eyes and smile that, quite frankly, I've ever seen.
Yo, what's good, homies? It's time I react to a little bit of My Strange Addiction. Sorry if my voice sounds off in this one. I'm battling a pretty serious sinus infection, but yeah, I got news that there's going to be a new season of My Strange Addiction coming out soon, like this week, so I am definitely going to be covering that. And in order to kick things off, we're going to recap some of these amazing episodes that I have missed because I really haven't seen much of the show besides what they had on YouTube. So today I'm not going to spoil too much. Let's just see who we're meeting, and I'll let you draw your own conclusions on this one, all right? Make sure you do drop a like on my video, though, if you enjoy my content and want to help me out. Anyways, let's get into it.
My name is Mark, I'm 20 years old, and I'm in a relationship with 15 inflatable animals.
So yeah, we're meeting with this dude who is pretty much addicted to buying and collecting and cuddling with his own pool inflatables. You know, the type they just sell in Target for like 20-30 bucks. He bought one day and absolutely became addicted, and now his entire house is filled with them. And according to him, really the only human interaction he's getting on a day-to-day basis, I can't even say human interaction, the only interaction he's getting are with these inanimate objects that he has given entire personalities to.
My inflatables are the funnest creatures I have to hang out with in my life. I bathe my inflatables. Let's get sure. Snap. I do take my inflatables out swimming.
Okay, bro, okay, all right. He is literally inside this thing right now. And this pose that he's making and these little smooches he's giving, bro, I cannot handle this already. This is some painful cringe, but you know what? I can't be making too much fun of the guy because clearly he just is somebody who's lonely and is filling some sort of void with these inflatable animals. What the hell is this thing even supposed to be? This is the craziest floaty I've ever seen too. Like, as I'm recording this, it is so hot in my room and I'm actually jealous of this man enjoying the pool right now.
Mark's addiction to inflatables began 6 years ago when he purchased a whale for his pool and even prefers them over people.
And I love that there's these scenes of him just doing day-to-day stuff like making breakfast for himself, folding up his clothes that he washed. Like, he just has these things everywhere and he's having full-on conversations with them. I'm not sure if this guy has a roommate or not, but if they do, I hope that they get a discount on rent because yeah, you shouldn't have to put up with this much weird inflatable stuff going on in your house. Like, I would say this has slid into becoming a little bit of a problem for this guy. I get that it's an interest for him and it makes him happy, but this has got to be impeding his social life outside of this stuff.
The thing about inflatable pools most I love is that they're soft, they're cuddly. The bigger they are, the better they are. Kind of means there's more to love.
Oh, I just know this dude's going hard at Costco at the end of the summer on those big discounts, you know? Like, it's the same as if you get Halloween candy the day after Halloween. That's the way to go. This dude is probably spending a majority of his paycheck on these things. And also, I have an issue with what you just said, buddy. He says they're so soft and cuddly. I don't know if anybody else just experiences sensory hell much like I do on many things in this world, but I gotta tell you, the seams on these inflatable raft things, those are straight up sharp and not fun to touch or be around, all right? I actually hate floaties for that reason. Like, if you ever been scratched by one of these seams underwater, it literally feels like it's poisonous and it's like stinging your skin. So no thank you, buddy. You can keep these to cuddle with yourself, all right?
When I first found out about Mark's inflatables, I thought that's strange, or how can you be into something that's not really real?
And I gotta say, this dude must have a pretty winning personality if he's able to actually maintain friendships with this addiction. I'm telling you right now, maybe I'm just a closed-minded person, but if I was meeting somebody and they introduced me to their house full of inanimate objects, these inflatables that they're dating, I don't really know if I'd be able to remain friends with them, you know what I'm saying? Like, the tagline under my name, if I was in this documentary, would say ex-friend, because I'm not really trying to hang out with you in these floaties, man. I gotta be completely honest. Like, that's a you thing. Let's keep that separate from the friendship.
My mother really wasn't there for me when I was a child. First time I hugged my inflatable whale, I actually started feeling all that love and compassion that I never got from my mother.
And no lie, of course, this video is going to be funny and like cringy, but that is just straight up heartbreaking to hear. And I mean, that's the story behind so many of these insane addictions that we see on this show. Just these people doing outlandish things that you would never expect. There is always something they're trying to heal within themselves by doing that action. Or for him, it's cuddling and buying these inflatables. This is filling the void of him not really having any love in his life from his parents, from his friends. Like, this dude is just straight up lonely and he's resorting to these. So that is just heartbreaking to me.
I'd say every one of my inflatables has a different personality. Some like different types of music, some don't. Some like to just be lazy and sleep all day.
All right, TLC, y'all are messing with us, bro. There's no way this guy prepared a dinner for himself and these animals, unless he's meal prepping and he's just going through the full experience of having these things be real in his mind, and that's why he's feeding them at the table. But otherwise, bro, no, I'm sorry. That shot was straight up fake. There's no way this dude is actually caring for all these animals this much. And also what this proves, he'd probably be a great partner to somebody as soon as he actually does find something that's living and breathing that wants to talk to him and be romantic with him. So I guess he's getting some good practice in with these, you know, inflatable floaties, but oh my god, every single shot of this is just so depressing, dude. It's unreal.
Lila the dragon holds a special place in his heart.
She basically is like a wife to me, and some of the sweetest eyes and smile that, quite frankly, I've ever seen.
Yep, you heard that right. He considers this one to be his main wifey. The other ones are just side pieces, which is kind of rude that, you know, this dude's out here openly kissing and cuddling with these other floaties in front of his wife. Not that she can really speak up and say anything, because, you know, inanimate object and all. But it is funny that he's out here playing favorites. And yeah, let's hear what they do together. I'm sure we all want to know that, right?
Lila prefers to sleep on me, but once in a while, she'll let me sleep on her back. If I could marry Lila, I would, because I am that much in love with her.
Ooh, so he's a top and a bottom. Nice, dude. This guy is just out here getting frisky with these things. I don't know what led me to be, you know, making these reactions, but this is one of those videos where I am just flabbergasted that I do this for a living. Like, the fact that you all want to watch this cringe with me is beautiful, so thank you for that. Let's keep this train going, baby. I'm getting all hot and bothered right now.
But Mark and Lila haven't taken their relationship to the next level yet.
We keep our relationship clean. We just kiss and hug.
So let's get this straight. He actually is not getting frisky with this thing. He's taking his time, and they have a very old school, you know, nice and pure relationship with each other. And he would actually marry this thing had it been legal. I'm guessing there's many laws against you marrying inanimate objects. I don't know how many people are out here trying to do that, but apparently people on this show really want to do that. I mean, I'm thinking back to the guy who was making out with his car. He definitely would try the same thing.
But Mark's decided he doesn't want to hide his love for inflatables anymore. The first person he wants to reveal his secret to is his cousin.
So right now he's hanging out with his cousin who looks like the robot dude from Grandma's Boy, if you guys have ever seen that movie. Like, this is a spitting image, dude. And I don't know how close these guys are. Maybe they talk all the time, but imagine if you weren't super close with your cousin and they invited you over. They're like, hey, I got to tell you about something. And they drop this freaking bombshell on you. I would actually be so confused and like weirded out. I'm sorry. I know we're family and we got to support each other, but I don't know about this one, Chief.
You know my whole inflatable thing, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that it was an intimate relationship that I have with every one of my inflatables here?
And I don't know why his face when he delivers this line is so creepy, like the deep eye contact he makes after saying and admitting that, you know, this relationship is a little bit intimate between him and his inflatables. You'd think you'd at least look away to break the tension, but no, he's just staring at him like, do you approve? Do you approve? Do you still love me? Are we still cousins? Do you think this is cool? Do you want to date one of them? Like, no, dude, just look away, please. You're stressing me out.
Obviously really bright, but it's just like, I think like these things in general would just hold you back from certain things in life. It worries me, but like I definitely like accepted it. It's what makes you happy, dude. And, so,
and you can tell this cousin's a little bit worried about him, which I think most of us would be in the, you know, the same spot. Clearly this guy is not going through this mental stuff very well because he's having to resort to this in order to feel loved and to feel cherished. And I'm sure there's many other ways he could feel that feeling if he applied himself and went outside a little bit more and tried to interact with more people that weren't just weird inflatable pool toys that are not talking back to him at all. And instead he's just having these conversations in his head, kind of going further and further into madness the longer he remains lonely like this.
There may be a bit of a problem with my inflatables, but these guys are the reason why I live day to day. I'd just be really sad without them.
And this dude admits like this is the reason he's alive, is to be around these things. So I'm not trying to take anything away from him and say that he can't have, you know, this satisfaction of this. But, you know, when you're down that bad, I just think, man, some therapy would really help this guy, and some time away from these, some separation would be good. I know he probably has crazy separation anxiety from these. He even talked earlier about how much of a struggle it is to go to school and probably have a job being away from all these and not having these things around to talk to. But I don't really know what the solution is for this guy, but he's got to change up something quick or else he might be headed down a dark path.
I think if you are open to the thought of going to a therapist, then I know for a fact that they will, you know, push you into the right direction.
And now he's sitting down with his friend we saw earlier, and I gotta say, this dude has some great people in his life that are giving out some solid advice here. They're not being judgmental. They're not calling him a freak like most of us would do. They see the reasons behind this obsession he has with these inflatables. I mean, they get that this guy is lonely, he's sad, he has this void in his life, and they're trying to give him tangible things to do, like going to see a therapist that can seriously improve his life in the short term and the long term. So W friend right here, I think that's great advice. And we're actually gonna wrap up the episode with him going in to see a therapist about this. Let's see if he can get any actual help or if he's just gonna maintain this crazy obsession with these things and be floating and smooching on them until the day he's gone.
Do you feel as if they interact with you in any way?
All in my head, but I do feel as if they do communicate with me.
And that's got to bring up some red flags for the therapist. Like, okay, you actually think these things have personality and are talking? There might be more going on here than I thought. You know, I don't know how much they're going to be able to accomplish in this first intake session. Usually you got to be with your therapist for a few sessions before you actually start getting into the nitty gritty of everything and, you know, finding out your solutions. But this guy's surprisingly open to the idea of therapy, and I think he actually does have a good chance of recovering from this. Not that it's anywhere near one of the worst things we've seen on this show or that I've seen in the past, but still, it's got to be impeding his social life quite a bit, like I said, and he definitely could have a much more fulfilling day-to-day life if he tried to interact with more humans and less inflatables.
Because that could lead to isolation, and that isolation in some people can lead to depression and more significant problems.
You know, my social skills will probably get, you know, less and less.
And the therapist closes out with something great here. I mean, this dude's habit of having these things around in his house and speaking to them isn't necessarily too damaging, but the loneliness that causes it, the underlying cause, if that goes untreated for too long, he's clearly going to be facing some serious mental problems, which is just going to make it even 10 times harder for him to leave this obsession behind and actually start interacting with other humans. I gotta say, every single person who's given him advice in this video has been knocking it out of the park, so I really hope this dude is actually on the right path.
Spending a little less time each day with my inflatables. I'll still have my inflatables in my life, but they're not going to be the primary part of my life.
So we get a wholesome ending here. It sounds like this dude is open to spending less and less time with these things. I don't think they're going to be outside of his life anytime soon, especially because, like I said, this is ultimately kind of harmless. It's just straight up weird, definitely, but probably not affecting him too much physically or mentally, as long as he goes out and speaks with other people. So he's going to be making a point to do that. In the end, it says he's still in a relationship with his 15 inflatables, but he is spending more time with people and less time with his pool toys. So absolutely beautiful ending there. Let me know what you thought of this one down in the comments. Again, sorry about my weird voice if it does come across a little bit nasally or snotty. There's probably a lot of cuts of me sniffling my nose in between this or coughing. But yeah, more videos on the way. We're gonna check out the new season of this show. I think it's actually them catching up with older cases, which is beautiful, so be on the lookout for that. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already, as well as subscribe, and shout out as always to my Patreon supporters who are holding it down over there. Feel free to check that out if you want some bonus content. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and until next time, peace out.